Hello, welcome, and thank you for joining today's webinar. This is Hiran Amin, Senior Client Education Instructor with TD Direct Investing, and today it is my pleasure to provide you with an introductory tour to the powerful US trading platform known as thinkorswim. thinkorswim has a storied history and a sterling reputation when it comes to trading on the US markets for both equities and options. The platform offers market and research analytical tools and an array of features catering to both novice and veteran investors alike. Now, to name but a few of those features, thinkorswim offers real-time streaming quotes, market level 2 depth, live trader TV. It allows for up to four-legged option strategy orders. It has a robust charting package with over 400 different technical studies and much, much more. Now, one other cool feature thinkorswim also has, it provides a virtual trading simulator called Paper Money. It's basically a demo trading account, and best of all, it's free for anyone to download and use. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and begin our tour. And we're going to first start by demonstrating how you can register and download for the platform. So, let's get right to it. All right, our first order of business is to register for the thinkorswim Paper Money demo account. So in order to do that, we're first going to come and land on the thinkorswim main webpage. Once you're on this page, we're going to scroll kind of halfway down until we see this link over here that says Get Started, and click on that. This is going to bring you to the registration portal. It's a three-step process. Now, for those users who are just going to be using Paper Money, we're only going to be completing step 1 and step 2, and that's it. For those users who do want to go ahead and have live trading capabilities with the thinkorswim platform, you're going to go on to step 3. And step 3 does require for you to phone into the thinkorswim trade desk. And once you do call in, they will go over the process and the requirements in order to get set up for live trading there. For today's demonstration, however, we're just going to be setting up Paper Money. So we'll go to step 1 and we're going to click on register over here. Once you click on register, it's going to bring you to the portal where you'll be able to enter your user ID and password. So this is where we're going to, in fact, create a unique user ID and password to access the thinkorswim platform. Keep in mind, for TD Direct Investing clients, this is going to be different from what you currently use for WebBroker. Once you've completed that, go ahead and fill out your basic demographic information that it requires over here. And then we're going to go ahead and hit submit at the bottom. Now, once you hit submit, that's going to give you a confirmation screen to tell you that you have successfully registered. At that point, we can go back to this original page that we were on and we can move on to step 2. This is going to be the step where we'll be able to download the desktop software. Now, thinkorswim, in fact, is a program where you do have to get it downloaded, and it is available both on PC-based systems as well as mobile trading devices. Now, the links that are going to be provided under step 2 are going to be for those PC-based systems. If you are looking for downloading the mobile app, please look at our resource guide, and it does have a link to the Android App Store as well as the iOS App Store. For our demonstration, we're using a Windows system, so based on your respective system, you'll be downloading the installer file. So we're going to go ahead and download this file that we require for our system over here. Once you've done that, you can see I have the installer file already downloaded over here. I'm going to go ahead and run it and open it up to the setup wizard. When you do get to the setup wizard, you're going to go ahead and follow the prompts that you have over here. So we're going to follow the first prompt, and the first prompt is going to be your most important one, as it's going to ask you to select an account provider. Now, keep in mind, for Canadian users of thinkorswim, whether that be Paper Money or live trading, you do have to select TD Direct Investing over here. And then you can go ahead and proceed with the rest of the installation as directed on that setup wizard there. Once you do that, you'll be able to go ahead and load up thinkorswim from your tray icon or from your applications folder, and it'll bring you to the login screen. You'll go ahead and put in your username and password that you have created just a moment ago, and you go and put in your password, and then you'll notice there's a toggle switch between live trading and Paper Money. So for those users who want to enter the live environment, they will toggle over to the left. And for those users who are going to be using Paper Money, we'll toggle over to the right where it highlights in Paper Money, and we're going to go ahead and log in. And I present to you thinkorswim here. So we've now logged in to the thinkorswim Paper Money account. And we're going to first start off by going through the navigation and layout of this platform. As you can see, there's quite a bit to this platform. So first off, I just wanted to show everyone this top row over here and some of the information that's going to be housed at this section. So you'll notice first of all in the top left corner we have a banner that says PM simulated trading. That tells us we're in the paper money simulated account. So there's going to be no confusion whether you're in a live account or the paper money. Now, if we move across over to the right a little bit and focus over here, you'll notice on mine it says real-time data. But for most of users who are registering for the first time, you'll probably see delayed data over here. Now, the reason why it'll show delayed data is because real-time data is only going to be available for those who have a live trading account set up with thinkorswim, and that in fact will give you real-time data. Otherwise, you will be operating on delayed data over there. Now, as we move further to the right and towards the center over here, it'll have an account number listed, and this is just an arbitrary account number that's assigned to the paper account. However, for those users that have a live trading account, this will display your margin trading account that you have with TD Direct Investing. Right, and this is the top row bar over here. And next, you'll notice that the design of the platform is kind of divided into these two sections. We have this left side section over here, and then we have this right side section over here. Now, this left side section is known as the left sidebar, and we're going to explore that in just a moment in a little bit detail. But in this right side section, or the main area, you'll notice that the platform is organized based on the row of tabs across the top here. So there's 9 tabs, and within each tab, as I hover over them, they have sub tabs within the tab, which allows access to the main features of the platform. And we're going to touch upon some of those features in our presentation here today. So let's go ahead and first look at the left sidebar over here, which is it's also known as the gadget bar. And so this left sidebar is going to provide quick access information to the markets that you want to keep constantly in view. Now, to begin with, at the very top, you'll notice there's a gadget that's called the account info. And each of these gadgets will also have this caret menu that allow you to expand or minimize those gadgets. Now, this account info is just going to display basically that. It's going to house the information that you will want to know as you're trading on the platform. And we'll go through the 3 line items that appear here. So you'll notice the first line item says option buying power, and this represents the amount that's available to currently purchase, the purchasing power you have on the account. It's also known as the non-marginable buying power that's available to a trader over there. Now, if we go to the second line item, this is known as a net liquid and day trades. It's just a fancy way of just saying what the account is worth. So it'll give you the total running tally of the value of the account at this current moment. And then finally, in the last line, you have cash and sweep vehicle, and this is going to tell you what is the exact cash balance of your account at this current moment in time there. Now, if we go back to the top over here to option buying power for a second, I can actually click on what it says option buying power, and within here you'll notice that it does give me another additional field over here which says stock buying power. Now, this stock buying power essentially is your margin buying power. So if you are going to be investing in any securities that have margin loan value, this is assuming that the loan value is 50%. This is the total maximum amount that I can spend towards that investment there. Also, there's going to be a little switch over here that allows for a privacy setting. So if I toggle it over to the privacy setting, you will notice if I click out of it that it does have the ability to mask some of these values just in case I happen to be in a public setting over there. Right. And so this account info is always going to be displayed at the top right corner, and you do again have the ability to expand or kind of minimize it there according to your needs. And we're just going to go ahead and display it there. Next, we're also going to look at some of the gadgets that are available. Now, you'll notice on mine that I only have one gadget because it says quick quote over here. And we'll show you how you can remove a gadget and add new gadgets. So in order to get rid of any gadget that you may have, you can do it one of 2 ways. You can click on this action menu item here in the top right corner and just simply hit delete gadget. Or we can go down here where this gear icon is at the very bottom, click on there, and we can just hit the X to get rid of it, which we're going to do. Let's go ahead and add a few gadgets that I think are going to be pretty neat to have on there. So we're going to hit the plus icon right below it over here, and we're going to go ahead and a few in there. So I'm going to add the level 2 gadget. I'm going to go ahead and go to the plus icon again. We're going to add Trader TV, and finally we're going to go ahead and add Watchlist over here. amongst the few that we want to see. Now you can see we're a little bit constricted for space over here, so I'm just going to minimize the watch list and trader TV while we explore level 2. And level 2 gadget in fact provides you that market depth that I had mentioned earlier on any securities, and this is available free as part of the platform. So you'll be simply able to type in any securities you're looking at. Let's just go ahead and type in Apple, and it'll provide you the market depth information for Apple over there. Pretty neat there. If we go ahead and minimize this, let's look at Trader TV now. This allows you to access live financial market news through various TV streams. And so we can actually go down when we open up this gadget, and we can actually click on the channel selector over here, and you'll notice there's a different channel feeds that you have access to. And perhaps we want to see the CNBC US market news. We can click on that CNBC feed, and in a moment's time, we will see that feed coming through, provided they're not on commercial break. And it does. And this is a live news feed for CNBC US. And then you can kind of resize it by just clicking on that edge and make it a little bit bigger. You do also have the ability to detach it to a bigger screen there. And this is going to be live. You'll be able to adjust the volume as well as have closed captionings on. For the moment, we're just going to hit pause on this and just minimize this again. So another neat tool. And let's look at the watch list. This is important because most traders do in fact use a watch list to keep an eye on various stocks that are their favorites. So we're going to look at how you build a watch list. So we're going to expand this gadget. Let's go ahead and see how we can set up the watch list. So if I click on here where it says select watch list now, you may have something that says default because that might be a list that might be already provided. We can click in this menu, and that's going to give us access to various watch lists that are already inbuilt with the thinkorswim platform. Those will be housed under these categories which say public. But we want to create our own personal list, so we're going to go kind of down ways over here and click on create watch list. This is going to open a new window, and now we'll have an opportunity just to name our watch list. And so we'll just call this Hiren's list over here, and then go ahead and start typing in some symbols. So to begin with, maybe I'm going to put in the SPY as my first symbol. Once you type it in, just hit enter to load it in. We're going to do the triple Qs, load it in. I'm going to, of course, do Apple. And then let's say you don't know a symbol necessarily, and you want to figure out what it is. You can also just do a question mark in this box and hit enter, and that's going to bring up the symbol lookup feature. Okay, so there's some different tabs across, but you can go to the very far right where it says lookup and just start typing the company's name. So let's say I want to add Netflix, and I can start typing the name of the company. As I type, it's a smart search. It's going to try and figure out what I'm looking for, and voila, there we have Netflix. You can go ahead and add Netflix now. We'll round off with Tesla over here, and just for good measure, we'll throw in Amazon as well. So now once you've got this list created, you can go ahead and save it at the bottom over here. Keep in mind you can always adjust and edit to it after the fact as well. Also, thinkorswim does give you the ability to import a watch list if you have a list working elsewhere. So you'll be able to import it through this function over here. So we're going to go ahead and hit save. And my watch list is now loaded up there. I can resize this gadget just so I can see all the ticker symbols in view, and I have full view of them. Now, you'll notice that you don't necessarily have quite a lot of space to work with here. So what if I wanted to see my watch list in a wider view? Yeah, you certainly can do that. We're going to now shift over to the main area of the platform, and we're going to go to this tab that says Market Watch, and under the sub tab, we're going to go to Quotes over here. Now, under quotes, this is in fact where you will be able to see the full view of your watch list. So we can just go on below where it says quote, it'll bring me the selector for my watch list. And once again, I'm going to go under personal because that's where they'll be stored, the ones we create. And you'll see Hiren's list shows up there, and we have it loaded up now. Now you will notice over here, you have a lot more data columns here to work with. Now you can actually customize this. And in order to customize these data columns, we're going to go to the far right where you see this small gear icon and click on that. And we're going to click on customize with that little window that opens up. Now within here, you can choose your respective data columns that you would like to add. Also with the ones that are currently there, you can just simply click and remove the ones that you don't want in there. Once you've made your adjustments, you can simply click OK to save those. Now, within this watch list, there is a sorting function available as well. So you're able to click any of these column headers to activate the sorting function. So perhaps I wanted to do the sorting based on the net change for today. I can click on it once. It's gonna sort it here in this descending manner. And if I click it again, it's going to be sorting it out in this ascending manner over here. And so I can do the sort. And if I click it one more time, it's just going to bring it back to that original view without any sort of sorting on it there. So you do have that ability as well. Now, let's say from here we wanted to do some further analysis on one of the symbols that we have by looking at some of the price action on the charts. How do we do that? Well, we're going to actually go to the charts tab over here, and just under the charts tab, we're going to click on the sub tab that says charts. Now you'll notice that we don't actually have any symbols loaded up currently, so we can either just type in the symbol in this box over here, but there in fact is a better way to do it, a more efficient way to do it. We can link up a watch list to the chart, and I'll show you what I mean. So you'll notice going back to the watch list here or wherever you are on that main under market watch, we can as we scroll through it, we're just going to make this sidebar a little wider here so I have more room to work with. You'll notice as you make it wider, there's gonna be this icon, looks like a chain link icon. And we're gonna click on that as a symbol link. Now when you click on that, you can choose any sort of color or an assignment which has an assigned number to it. In this case, we're gonna choose the yellow color. Now, once this is done, this means this has been assigned to this color. And similarly, on the chart, right beside the symbol box, we have a chain link icon here. And we're going to match it up with that same color. Now, once you match it up, you'll notice that the symbol automatically loads because that's what I currently have selected. But let's say we want to do some analysis on the NASDAQ Triple Q ETF. All right, so I can just click on that and you can see now it pre-populates automatically without having me to type that in, making it efficient. So this is another fantastic feature of thinkorswim there. So now that we're on charts, I'm just going to expand the room so that we have more to work with over here. So I can actually collapse the left sidebar. So you'll notice there's a faint little arrow over here which allows me to kind of hide it away. Or at the very bottom, you can click on this arrow which also allows us to hide it. So let's go ahead and do that. Now that we're on the charts, let's do a few different things and go through a number of different settings that are available. So first and foremost, maybe I want to set up and configure my time and frequency on the chart. So how do I do that? So you'll notice, first of all, on the chart, we have the symbol. It'll have the description of the company there, the traded price, the bid and ask, and the change. And then we'll have the configurators for our chart. We're in fact going to go to this configurator. Now it does say D, however, this is the time frame setup currently showing, but we're going to click on this. And this allows us to access some default timeframes that are currently available on the system. Now, if we wanted to create our own time frame rather than the ones that are provided to us, we can certainly do that. You'll notice there's another tab right in this menu. We can click on time frame and we can go and to our time frame selector. Now you can choose the aggregation type that you're looking for first, and then whether it be intraday, daily, or custom range. I'm going to click on daily, and then I can choose my time interval that I want to look at. So perhaps I wanted to look at a 10-year time interval, and I wanted to make the aggregation period weekly on this. So I can choose that. Now, once you do that, if this is one that you're going to be using often, you may also want to save it as a favorite. And in order to do that, at the very bottom in the left, you'll notice there's a little star icon. I can simply click on that, and then I can hit OK. Now, once I do that, it's going to be loaded up under that time frame. It'll now say week because that's what the time frame I'm on is currently, the 10-year and week, and it is a favorite. So the next time I come around, I can easily just go into my favorites list and select it from there. Now, with this time frame, we are working with quite a lot of data when we're analyzing it. So perhaps we just want to just focus in on a certain section of this time frame. Can we do that? Can we zoom in? Of course we can. In order to do the zoom feature, you can do it one of two ways. You can either just click your mouse and just drag and shade the area that you wanted to look a little bit more closely at. And once you do that, just unclick, and that's going to zoom in on that particular area, as you can see. Now, at the bottom, you'll notice there's a scroll bar, which allows me to still move through that total the total period of that chart that I'm looking at it. And so I can go from left to right with it by still looking in that zoomed in window that I wanted to focus on. And so you can still do that. You can zoom in further as well. So by dragging, or the other way is by going down over here with this magnifying glass where it says the plus icon in it, and I can click on it further, and that's going to allow me to zoom in even further into that price chart. And of course, right beside it is the zoom out function. So I can click on that icon, and that's going to help me zoom out on that as well there. So one of two methods to do it there. Now, from here, let's say we wanted to change the styling of the chart that we're looking at. How do we do that? So currently we're looking at a bar chart, and we wanted to perhaps change it to a candle chart. In order to do that, you're going to go back to this to our selector menu over here, and we're going to select style over here and click on that. Once you click on style, go to where it says chart type. It currently says bar. and we can go in here and select candle. All right. And once you've selected candle, you can see we have candlestick charts loaded up. Now, what if I wanted to further adjust the colors perhaps and the settings on that candlestick? Can I do that? And yes, we can. So in order to do that, we can go back to style and we can go to settings over here. And once you open up this chart settings menu, we can go across these tabs at the top to the one that says appearance. Now in appearance over here, we have chart mode, it's set to standard, and we have candle selected, and now we can choose different colors. Now to simply change the colors, you'll notice on the candlestick it allows me to choose different ones for the border and also for the fills. I can simply go to the fill and open up my color palette and then choose a different color. And of course, you're not restricted to just those. You do have a custom color scale you can also work with in order to customize it even further. I'm going to hit cancel for the time being and just leave it as it is. And you can go ahead and do this. So let's just do a quick test. We'll do the yellow on the fill up, and on the down, we'll do a blue color there, right? And we'll have this ticked off. And on here, it'll show you the preview of what it's going to look like when you make those changes there, all right? Once you've made those changes, all you simply do is hit apply to effect those changes, and then hit OK, and they are ready to go. We're not going to hit any changes right now, so we're just going to hit cancel to go back to our original chart in terms of the aesthetics. Now, we've got the chart style configured. Next, perhaps on the charting, maybe we want to do some studies or of trends. And so how do we access some of the trend lines and drawings on there? Well, you'll notice at the very top, there's a drawing tool menu that's available. So we're going to click on that, and we're going to go down to this selector which says drawing tools. Now there's a number of different drawing tools that are available for anywhere from those Fibonacci retracements to regression channels and the whole works over here. But we're just going to keep things simple and just use a standard trend line. So I'm going to click on this trend line, and you'll notice it turns my icon into this pencil. And so now what I can do is I can drop the point at where I want to start my trend line. So perhaps I want to start it at on this candlestick over here. I'm going to drop my first point and then kind of drag according to the size of the trend that I want to build on this. And I'm just going to kind of insert it, let's just say somewhere there. And then I can just drop another point by just clicking again. And now I've formed this trend line over here. Now, further to this, I do have the ability to edit and the aesthetics of this trend line. So I can right click on the trend line with my cursor and it'll bring up the menu, and we can go to edit properties over here. Now under properties, you can actually label the trend line to something that you like. And also we have the ability to change the color at the bottom amongst the other features. So I can go in here and say, well, look, I'd rather have this an orange color. And we also wanted to make it stand out a bit more. So I'm going to go to the width and just make it a little thicker than what it currently is at. And then we're going to hit OK. And now you can see that that trend line looks a little thicker there for us. Okay. So you're able to do this and make those adjustments by simply just right clicking on that trend line and accessing the edit properties menu there. So now what if we wanted to go and add some studies? So I'm going to remove the drawing tool over here. So the drawing tool is accessed either up here, or in fact, there's even a shortcut available down here. And we're just going to go back to our regular arrow pointer. So to go ahead and add some studies now, you'll notice there's a selector that says studies up here. So you'll have the menu available through either the quick study or add study, and they're all organized based on the type of study that you're looking to add. So you can go through here and go through the list of the available studies. And as I mentioned, there's over 400 different studies available for you to select through. Now that's obviously a lot to scroll through and sort through. So rather than that, the quick way of also accessing a study is I can go to this beaker icon, click on this, and it brings up the study editor. And so from here, you have the full exhaustive list of all the studies. I can simply just type in what I wanted to add. So I want to begin by adding a simple moving average, and so I'll just type in the beginning letters of that study, and we got it right over here, and I can go ahead and add it on there. And then perhaps I also want to throw in the MACD. And so we'll go ahead and add the MACD as well and select that and add selected over here. So now both of those studies are loaded up. Now, maybe I want two moving averages together instead of just one. So if I wanted a second moving average or a third, whatever the case may be, we can simply go back and add it again. And now we've got two simple moving averages. Now, we can also customize the timeframes that are associated with these studies. So for the moving average on the first one, I'm just going to hover over that. And the very far right, you'll notice this gear icon, which accesses the settings. And in here, now I can choose different parameters. So first of all, I'm going to change this to make it a, let's do a 10 period on this one. And you can also adjust what price it's based off of this moving average. So you can see the selector, and I know a very popular one is volume weighted average price, so the VWAP. So I can select that. And then also, once again, I have the ability to customize the color of what this simple moving average is going to look like. So perhaps I'm going to make it this sort of purplish color, and we're going to have it a little bit thicker on that band when it gets displayed. And once you've made those adjustments, let's hit OK. And we've got that adjusted. We can go on to the next one over here. I'm going to make this a 50-day or 50 period one. And again, I'm going to match it up with the previous one and make it a VWAP, the price based on the volume weighted average price. And we're going to differentiate this color by having it as like a light yellow, let's say. And we're going to make that band also thicker. And we're going to simply hit OK at this point. And finally, you can just make the adjustments to the MACD. So I'm pretty happy, in fact, with the stock custom adjustments. But one thing I would like to show is this breakout signals, which is fantastic. I'm going to select that to yes. That'll show me whenever those crossovers are taking place on the study. So I can hit OK. And I can just hit apply simply and hit OK. And now you can see that we have our simple moving averages loaded up in there and our MACD. Now we obviously want to work with more space, so I can adjust the sizing of the chart. So I'm going to just drag this up higher, and I'm going to make the volume bar section a little bit smaller over here, just so we can see that MACD, which is that lower study, a little bit better there. All right. I'm also going to go ahead and remove my trend line, so I can simply right click and just remove that drawing over there. So right click, remove drawing, and there we go. It's out of there. So now we have our studies loaded up. So we've got our two simple moving averages as well as our MACD. We can also add multiple charts within the one window as well. In order to have multiple charts, I'm going to go up to the right over here on this grid, click on there, and maybe I want to have 4 charts within the one window. I can click on color to that size that I want and have 4 charts loaded up. Now we've got 4 charts set up in here, and I can also quickly load up my symbols with a click of a button. So I can go up to the menu icon over here, and let's say I wanted to load up some of the symbols that were part of my watch list that we just created under here in the list. I can go in there under that list and click there, and now you can see that that is loaded up with those respective symbols in the order that I had placed them in. Now you do have the ability to also kind of zoom in on a particular chart. So you can, if you wanted to observe this in the full screen view, we can just right click on this chart, and in this menu towards the bottom, I'm going to click on maximize cell, and that's going to display the chart in full view there. I can then toggle using the left and right arrows over here between the different charts, and it's going to tell me exactly in which position of chart I am on the grid, and continue doing so and cycling through them. And then if we wanted to just go back to revert to our original view, we can just use this arrow, and it's going to take us back to that chart grid. So this allows you to analyze different stocks with different charts, but it also allows you to analyze a single stock with just different time frames if you wanted to do so as well. So you can customize the time frame on each chart if you're just observing one stock there. We're in fact going to go back and just go to original one chart view over here. And next, what I wanted to show everyone was the ability to trade. And we're going to show you how you can trade on the thinkorswim platform, starting with how you can place trades on a chart, of course. And so let's say, and let me just zoom in on this particular area. And let's say we're interested in the SPY, which is what we have currently. Let's just go ahead and load up. Let's go ahead and throw in Apple for the time being. We'll load up Apple over here. Now within Apple, I'm just going to focus in on this area alone, and we wanted to place a trade on Apple. Now to simply place a trade on Apple using the charts, you're going to notice my cursor has this horizontal bar that which allows me to scroll through the various price points on the price axis. And so once I've identified a price that I'm willing to buy Apple at, kind of just let's say this 140 range or so here, right click, and we're going in this menu, it'll say buy, and we're going to click on buy. As soon as you do that, it actually sets the order up, and this is just the confirmation box. So there's one more button to click to send this order. Now, let's say you didn't quite want to do it exactly at this price. You don't need to cancel and go back to try and aim at the price. You can simply edit the order over here. So you'll notice there's an edit button over here. So I can click on the editor, which brings me the order entry tool. And from here, I can now adjust the total shares that I wanted to buy. So let's say we wanted to do 100 shares on this purchase, and we wanted to do for an even $140 at this time. It'll allow me to select the order types, the order type that I want this order to be sent as. Since we're doing it below the market, we are going to select as a limit order, and then we can choose our time frame respectively that we'd like to have between day good till canceled. Extended hours gives us access to the pre and post market sessions as well. We're just going to keep it to day order, and now I can go ahead and confirm and send. It'll bring me in that confirmation box one more time, so I can review the order to show me that it's 100 shares of Apple I'm buying at 140. It gives me the total estimated cost, including commission. Now keep in mind with paper money, it'll always show $0 commission for the stock purchases, but the real account will have the applicable commission there charged. It'll also tell me how much buying power is going to be required on this security and what my new values are going to be on my amounts of my account once this purchase gets completed there. So if I'm happy with all the information, I'm going to go ahead and hit send. As soon as I hit send, you will notice that the order in fact does get displayed on the charts, like in this manner. It shows me that I have 100 shares order outstanding over here. And so from here within the charts, I'm able to either drag this bar at the top or the bottom to adjust the price. So let's say I want to lower the price a little bit. And so I'm going to click on this, and we're going to drag it a little bit down here to, let's say, perhaps the 130 or so range, and drop it. As soon as I do that, it's going to bring that order confirmation box again approximately at that price where I dropped it at. And once again, I can edit if I wanted to do so. However, I'm just going to leave this order, and we can go ahead and just cancel out of this order. So we're just going to delete it just to remain it there. And so from here, let's go and look at that order. How does it actually show up? Where do we see the order status? So going back to the top row of tabs that I have here, I'm going to move over to the very first tab which says monitor, and under the monitor, we're going to be under activity and positions. Now you'll notice under activity and positions, this is in fact where our orders are going to be housed. Under where it says today's trading activity, you'll find working orders, filled orders, canceled orders, and rolling strategy orders over here. Now the working orders is the ones which are outstanding or open orders, and we can expand that area and we'll see our current order there, right? So let's say from here, we wanted to go ahead and adjust our price on that order. So I can simply click on this order right over here, right click, and I can hit cancel and replace here. So in this case, let's say I want to go ahead and just get the shares bought. So I'm going to change this to a market order now at the current market price. And I can adjust the quantity again if I need to do so. And I'm going to hit confirm and send. And once again, it's going to give me a new confirmation screen with the new amounts that are going to be applicable. And I'm going to get that sent through. Now, as soon as I do that, you will notice that it pings the fill right away. You'll get this sort of notification whenever an order has been filled with a little sound. And I can go back to the monitor tab over here and monitor that order to get the fill. So you'll notice it's no longer in the working orders because the order did fill. So we're going to go to the fill section. It'll show me what it filled, and I can see exactly at what price Apple got filled at me for those 100 shares. You'll also notice under the canceled orders, the previous order that we had replaced shows up as a canceled order under this status over here. Now, going back to this tab, which is the trade tab, let's say we want to do an option order now. So we're going to go to the trade tab, and this is where we're going to access the options chain. And so what you'll notice first of all is when you load it up under all products, you throw in your symbol. We're going to have the quote of the stock, of course, the underlying. It's going to give us some information related to the underlying displayed over here. We can expand that to see some other relevant information that might be useful to us. However, we're going to go down over here where it says options chain right over here, organized by the expiry dates that are showing up there with the most recent and then going further out. You can just use a filter. There's a filter option. So if you know we're looking for a particular option strike price or expiry, you can use the filter function. Otherwise, you can just browse through the different expiry dates. And let's say we want to do a March expiry month. We're going to choose that. And when we choose that, we want to do a covered call strategy first, which is writing a call against our shares. So the calls will be housed on the left and the puts will be housed on the right. So we're going to focus on the left. And since we bought ours for approximately $174, maybe we think it's a good idea to sell a 185 call, which is about a month and a bit away there. So you'll notice on this strike price over here, we have the bid and ask prices displayed to us. So we can simply click on the bid price to set up our sell. And once you do that, you'll notice that there's a default quantity that always appears in here. In this case, for options, it's 10. You will have the ability to, in fact, adjust the defaults on your platform according to the amount of shares you typically buy. We're going to just do 1. I'm just going to manually change it here and delete that to make it a 1. We're doing the 18 March 185 call. We're selling this, and its current price will be displayed to us over here. It'll show us the natural and mid price. Now we can adjust the prices and say, well, I'm pretty happy with 163 at the moment. I'm going to just keep it as a limit order, as that is the price that I kind of want to be guaranteed to be filled at or better. And I hit confirm and send. And once again, just like the stocks, we'll have a screen which tells us the break-even prices on the option and the stock itself. It does this calculation for us here. It tells us how much credit we're going to receive for selling this call and how our buying power amounts will be changed. So once we're happy with all this information, we are going to go ahead and send this order through. Now you'll see it says create covered call strategy order, and this is in fact what it's doing. It is in fact pairing it up with those 100 shares that we bought, and we can go ahead and send it. And this order has been filled right away since we hit it right at the price. And so now I can go back to our monitor tab here, and I can again check the fill over here, and I can see I got filled at 163. Now, in order to see where your stock holdings will show up, you're just going to go a little towards the bottom there, and under this section where it says position statement, you'll find your various securities that we have in there. And if I expand on the Apple, we'll see that we have 100 shares of Apple that we just bought, and we've got one call sold against that Apple there. This will show us the trade price, so this will be basically the average cost of what we paid for the security, or sold the security for in this case. And then we'll also go over to the very left right, which will show us the profit and loss for the security. The PL for the day is just the profit and loss for the day itself, and the PL for the open is there on since you first got into that position. What is the overall profit and loss in this position there? So you'll be able to see this information displayed over here. Now, if you wanted to go ahead and sell this security, you can actually do it right from here. You can just right click and go to create closing order, and we can go ahead and sell our Apple shares if we wanted to do so. So simply right clicking will allow you to place this trade. Now, keep in mind the great thing about the thinkorswim platform is that you're not isolated to one sort of area to be able to do your trades. In fact, wherever there is a quote displayed or a price displayed, you can place an order from there. And you'll notice if I wanted to buy a stock on Apple, I can simply just right click over here and hit buy from this menu. And it could be any other menu that you'll be observing or looking at there. All right, so keep that in mind. The other thing that I wanted to point out to everyone is that although this is the main area where the order status is housed, if you are in different areas of the platform, you still have access to the orders without having to come back to this screen all the time. So let's say we're going back to charts and we wanted to check the order status. You'll notice there's a little arrow at the bottom which opens this order status tray, in fact. So I can click on this, and this gives me quick access to the order book. And within this order and strategy book here, I can sift by showing what orders I want to see, whether I want to see just my open orders or the filled orders. And let's say I just want to look at the filled. I can see the 2 filled orders that I have. I can go to all orders currently that are outstanding on the system and look at that as well. And it'll give me the status over here, whether we're filled, the order's being canceled, etc. there. So a quick way to access the order status as well is just through this order book menu. So let's go ahead and put on one more trade, because I did mention you are able to do multi-leg option strategy orders, and let's do a multi-leg option strategy order. So from here under the trade tab under all products, I'm going to go and choose a different symbol, and we're going to go to Netflix in this case, and we're going to choose Netflix this time around. And we're going to go ahead and do a vertical debit call spread. So again, I have my options chain opened up over here, and we're going to look at, perhaps this time around, we'll look at the April's expiry date. So I'm going to click on that, and I can go in here and scroll through the various expiry dates. Now keep in mind, you can expand the strikes that you wanted to see on here. So we're currently seeing 30 strikes, but if I wanted to adjust that to just show the 20 strikes, it's going to show me kind of 10 in the money and sort of 10 out of the money. And that's kind of where I wanted to see it. So we're doing a vertical debit call spread trade over here, and we're going to be choosing the 415 strike over here. Call is the one I want to buy, and I'm going to sell the 420 to make a 5-point spread. So we're going to select the ask price. If we click on that, it will bring up the order ticket. I'm just going to minimize this order book for the time being, and it'll be displayed this way. Now I'm just going to minimize this so I can have access to the option chain one more time, because we now want to sell it. Now the way to do a sell, the easiest way to add any sort of the second leg manually is just on your keyboard. You're going to hit down the control key, and when you do that, you'll notice that it brings up these kind of numbers, which gives you the hotkey access. And I'm just going to click now on the bid for the 420 because that's the one I want to sell. Once I do that, you'll notice it has now created this vertical trade for us, and I can just adjust my contracts that I want to do. We'll just do one contract on this, and I can adjust my debit price over here. It's a pretty wide spread, so we can try and just do it right at the mid price, and I can adjust my timeframes and type of order and get it sent off, confirm and send. I'm not going to send this one just yet because I did want to show you another way you can do this as well. So if we do want to manually add it in, I can just go to the 420. I can right click on this ask, and if I go over to where it says buy, you'll notice it brings me the whole slew of different option strategy orders that are available. And in this case, I want to do a vertical spread. So I'm going to choose the vertical over here. And in this case, it just does the next strike out, which is in fact the one I wanted, 425. I just have to now adjust my contracts over here to make it one. You only have to adjust the top one. The bottom one will be automatic since it's a strategy order. And now I can adjust my price over here, and we can try and just do it at this price, the 198 it's currently at. Hit confirm and send. It'll again give me the summary screen. What's the break-even price going to be on the stock? What's my max profit on this trade? What do I stand to lose based on what I am paying for this trade? And a commission will appear for these option orders on the paper money account though. I can go ahead and hit send order now. And once I've sent order, again, as I said, you can access the order status right through this menu real quick over here. And we can just look at the order book and say working orders. And I can see this order has not filled yet. So from here, I can just simply right click on this and replace it now and saying, well, let me just adjust the price because we're quite far away from the natural. And so I'm just going to unlock this, and I'm just going to go closer to 240 and see if we can get a fill there. I'm going to hit confirm again and send that through, and the order has been sent, and we have got the fill confirmation come back as well. So now we can go back to our monitor page over here, and once again you will see now the Netflix trade is housed under its own section over here. I can expand it, and I can see that I have a vertical debit call spread set up on Netflix. Now if I wanted to close the spread out, how do I do that? Well, I can simply click on it, highlight it, hit the control key, which allows me to select more legs. And once they're both highlighted, I can simply right click, go to create closing order, and go to sell one vertical there. Right, it'll reverse that trade for me. I can now adjust my price and say, well, look, we bought it for approximately 240. Maybe we want to sell it when it gets to 340, a higher limit price. So I can do that. I'm going to give myself more time and do a good till canceled order on this one. I can hit confirm and send, and we've sent that order away now. And again, we can go back to monitor, and we're going to find this working order on there. It tells us good till canceled, and we're looking for 340. Currently, it's just trading around 197.5 there. All right. And there you have it. This is the trading functionality on thinkorswim. We just wanted to wrap up and finally show you some of the resources that are available on this platform. And so I'm just going to take you to the thinkorswim Learning Center over here, which has a manual on the platform as well as some great videos on various things featured on the thinkorswim platform. So to begin, just go to how to thinkorswim over here. And once you're on there, go to the trading how to access the video library. You'll notice it's categorized based on various topics here. We can just go to the first one, which has to do with stock trading. It'll show you some of the videos related to stocks. But you'll notice at the bottom it has the all videos access as well. So we can simply click on that, and this is going to actually show us all of the videos. And it's even filtered by the particular tabs that we looked at the top of the platform over there. So you can scroll through any of the tabs. Let's say you want to learn more about charts. We can go into the charts, and it'll show us various things related to charts. These are 1-minute videos that you'll be able to see. And so there you have it. That concludes our overview of the thinkorswim platform. And I sincerely hope you did enjoy viewing that platform as much as I enjoyed presenting it to you. Now you can see there's just so much to the thinkorswim trading platform. And today we were only able to just scratch at the surface. And so I do highly encourage everyone to go ahead and try out the paper money account, because it's going to really help you practice and refine some of your trading strategies in a risk-free environment, but also it'll help you learn and get more familiar with this platform that we have to offer. And so with that, let's go ahead and now move on to our question and answer segment. And joining me here as well will be my fellow colleague, Brian Rogers. And together we look forward to answering some of your questions related to the platform. So please use that Q&A box that's located on the top right section there. Submit your questions, and we're going to take them up live right now. So let's roll to it.